we are live now. So let's see how many attendees. Oh, oh. All right. Yep. So it's 8 p.m. already. So let's see how much attendee we have right now. Okay. Maybe you can wait for a few while. Yep. So yeah, first of all, I would like to welcome everyone for today's webinar. Oh yeah, before that, can you guys hear me? If you can hear me right now, please say something in the chat so I know you guys can hear me. Okay, can hear. All right, awesome. Okay, Yeah. So one thing, if you chat in the put in the chat, please select all panelists and attendees so everyone can see what you are saying, so we can have much more a productive conversation together, right? Okay. Yeah, I think we can start with our session. So first of all, welcome for those who are new to Forward School webinar. And yeah, so our today webinar is about would I learn data science again if I would had to start over. So this topic more or less is about introduction of data science and machine learning, and it's more introductory, and hopefully everyone can get new knowledge or new insight from today's talk. And yeah, again, let me introduce myself. My name is Hakim, and I'm the producer for class and workshop at Forward School. And for those who are not familiar with Forward School yet, so Forward School is a revolutionary tech school that based in Georgetown, Penang, and we are focusing on software engineering and AI. And what we do at Forward School, we help produce talent in software engineering, as well as helping industry to skill up and adopt with a new technology such as AI, IoT, and cloud computing. So more or less that's what we are doing in Forward School. And to learn more about us, you can go to our website forwardschool.co, not .com, .co. All right. And yeah, let's back to our webinar today, which is would I learn data science again if if I had to start over. And before I introduce our speaker for today, I would like to remind everyone, if you want to say something during the talk, put in the chat section, so we can see what you are saying. And please select in the two section in the drop down, please select all panelists and attendees so we can have much more productive conversation together with all attendees and panelists. And if you have any question throughout the session, throughout the talk, please put in the Q&A section. There's the designated Q&A, right? So put your question there, because after our speaker finish his talk, and then we're gonna go through all your question one by one. So don't worry, if you have a question in the early in the talk, just put there. We're gonna go back and answer your question later on at the end of the session. All right. So besides that, yeah. Also, there is no recording. We won't give out any recording for this talk. So if you want to get all the insight and knowledge from today's talk, please stay to the end, because we want to give we want to have much more conductive sharing, because we doesn't want people to rely on a recording, joining us just for recording. We want to have a real-time conversation with you guys. So that's why we doesn't provide recording even after this session ended. So more or less, you need to stay till the end if you have any question or you want to get all the knowledge and insight from today's talk. All right. So without further ado, let me introduce our speaker for today, Daren Tan. He is a full stack generalist and experienced participant in hackathon. I mean, is also well known in Malaysia, and also is a founder for two of the quite significant developer group in Malaysia, especially in Facebook, developer Kaki, especially. And I think that I have to talk really much about him. I will like Daren Tan to introduce himself, and then we can continue with his talk straight away. All right. So Daren, can you mute your mic first? I think your mic is still
mute. Hello guys,
all
can
right,
you hear
cool.
me?
Yeah, if you guys can hear Daren, put in the chat so we know we can hear. Anyone?
Okay lah,
Oh,
boleh
you
lah.
just okay. All right, over to you, Daren.
All right. Thank you very much, Hakim, for the introduction. Welcome everybody. Let me share my screen. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Okay, let me get started. Share. Okay, perfect. So hi guys, welcome to tonight's talk. Hope you guys had your dinner. So today's talk is about would I learn data science again if I got a choice to choose from the start. Okay, so I'll be sharing with you some hold on. Okay, go for it. Okay, so let me start off with another self-introduction now, okay? So hope you guys don't get bored. So hi guys, I'm Daren Tan. I'm a full stack generalist and data scientist. I dabble around with web development, mobile development, desktop software development, data science, AI, machine learning, chatbot, blockchain, and UI UX design. It's a bit of everything. I'm basically quite a technical guy, but also I participate in I've been invited to give a lot of talks in Malaysia. So I've been going around helping startups around Asia to build their tech and bring their ideas to life in the past few years. Back then I was working as a freelance software consultant. Okay. Locally and abroad, I've participated in total of about 14 hackathons. And out of those 14, I've won 6 podium finishes and 4 top 10 finishes. Okay, with various projects from those areas I've mentioned. Other than that, I've also won, back in 2016, I've won a Malaysia award for IT, which is the Merit Award at MSc Apicta, as well as to represent Malaysia to go Taiwan to pitch. Okay. Currently, I'm working as the assistant manager in the Tech and Innovations Department in Magic, where I deal with internal stuff such as maintenance and building new features for the web application that we have. It's called Magic Central, as well as to dabble with some experimental projects that involve AI, AR, and also data analysis, okay, and a bit of data science. I'll be sharing on some of my work later. Other than that, I've also co-founded 2 Facebook groups. Don't call me a community builder. I normally just refer to myself as a Facebook admin. Okay. So these 2 groups, one is for Hackathon, which is called Hackathon Kaki, and the other is called Durable Kaki for Durable Radio Discussions. These 2 groups total to be about 6,400 plus members, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so if you are not in there, do join there, where you get the latest news on hackathons as well as developer-related news. Other than that, yeah, I've since last year I've retired from hackathons, and I've been actively invited to judge in hackathons as well as entrepreneurial events, and been invited to give talks surrounding tech, career, hackathon, entrepreneurship, and also some technical topics. Okay, so here's me back in 2018 attending hackathon overseas in Vatican City, Italy, which is a country inside of Italy. Okay, that's me on the right side here. And also back in, this date is wrong. Back in last year, 2019, I've also flew all the way to London to participate in a hackathon about trains. Yeah, this is the ending. Before the past 2 days, the hackathon was held on a train. So we did data science related hack in this hackathon as well. It was a pretty fun experience. Okay. As for my research background, my area of interest is natural language processing, data science, big data, machine learning, and AI. My research generally deals a lot with NLP and machine learning. Okay, I've published papers such as news reliability evaluation using LSA, latent semantic analysis, as well as to compare the performance between simhash and minhash, 2 very popular hashing techniques to find near duplicate data. Okay, so this is the content for today's talk. Today I'll be sharing with you what is data science, what's the difference between data science, AI, machine learning, what are the steps, phases in data science life cycle, what is data science used for, what makes a good data scientist, what's the difference in terms of skills, responsibilities, salary ranges for data scientists, engineer, and analysts, some interesting projects I've done, as well as some interesting case studies of data science in the real world. Okay, so yeah, let's get started. So I'm sure a lot of you or some of you have seen this being mentioned a lot. Being a data scientist is the sexiest job of the 21st century. This was by an article by Harvard Business Review back in October 2012. Okay, it's 8 years ago. And the author of this, I don't know who's Thomas, but DJ Patil was the chief data scientist of the entire United States. Okay. So actually, data scientists in certain countries, such as I know so far, Singapore and US, they have their own chief data scientist of the entire country that supports decision making on the cabinet level. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Unfortunately, Malaysia does not have that yet. Okay, hopefully someday there will be a minister of data or minister of data science or something like that, right? So in this article, why is data science being coined or being termed the sexiest job of the 21st century? Data scientists basically are the key to realize opportunities that can be presented by big data. There's huge amount of data around us every day that we goes by without noticing. Okay, data scientist is able to bring structure to to this data and find compelling patterns in order to advise the stick level, cabinet level, or stakeholders on the implications for product, process, and decision making. Okay, the story they are able to find within the big data or the chunks or the huge volume of data, they are able to find the pattern and then create and tell it through a story and communicate it to the stakeholders in order for them to make the best decision possible. Okay, without data scientists, public user data collected, let's say from Twitter, from those Shopee reviews, Amazon reviews, and so on, are so huge in amount and so unstructured, so dirty that they can't be interpreted unless it's done by data scientists. Okay, that's the formal definition. So let's move on to the informal definition. So why is it sexy? First of all, the pay for data scientists is quite well. I'll be sharing on that later. As you know, being money and being rich is sexy. So maybe that's reason number one. Reason number two, data scientists work in some very cool offices and companies and work on some very cool technologies, right? And lastly, data science is hot in the job market right now, as in the demand is really, really hot right now. Even up to today, it's still very hot. So hot is not that far from being sexy, right? So yeah. So let's get to the core. What is data scientist? What is data science? So data science is actually a mix of various fields. These three main fields basically is a mix of computer science, it's a mix of domain business knowledge as well with math and statistics. Okay. So data science is basically, I can summarize it as a multidisciplinary field that uses scientific methods, right? Scientific methods, processes, algorithms to extract knowledge and insights from structured and unstructured data which not usually comes in huge volume, right? Data science is not just about making complicated models, machine learning models. It's not just about making awesome visualization. It's not about writing code. Ultimately, data science is all about using data to create as much impact as you can for your company. Okay, it can come in the form of cost reduction. It can come in the form of profit, increasing the profit that you make, right, by reducing the cost or optimizing your resources. Okay, so data science is often used together, or somehow you will come across these three terms, or maybe these four terms, and you might get a bit confused. So just to clarify here, I'll be explaining to you. Data science is actually the umbrella term that consists of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. Okay, so data science is a comprehensive process that involves pre-processing, analysis, and visualization, as well as prediction. Okay. Meanwhile, AI, artificial intelligence, is the implementation of a predictive model to forecast future events. Okay. Data science comprises of various statistical techniques, whereas AI uses other implementations of machine learning. Okay, so basically, artificial intelligence are the applications of machine learning, whereas machine learnings are only the algorithms. So let me go through the definition here. Artificial intelligence enables computers to mimic human intelligence and behavior. Okay, and this is enabled by machine learning, which are algorithms that allow computers to learn, make predictions without being explicitly programmed. You don't need to if else everything, right? So there are various of so many different algorithms out there to be used for different situations in order to allow computer to make predictions on a variety of different data. Okay, so lastly, within machine learning, there's a subset called deep learning, which is a black box learning with multi-layered neural networks. So on how it works, it can't really be explained, but it has very good results compared to normal machine learning. Okay. So what are the some of the examples of applications of in data science or AI? Data science is used for image recognition, autonomous vehicle, self-driving vehicle, medical diagnostics, such as currently in COVID situation, robotics, recommender system, as well as natural language processing, which is my favorite field. Okay, so in as well as there's one more term that comes together in data science, which is big data. So big data refers to data that is huge, comes in a different variety, different structure, which is unstructured data, as well as different types, and basically the velocity is huge as well. So you can see here in this visualization, in 1 second, what happens online, right? This is back in 2012 and 2014. So right now, 6 years later, I believe the number has increased even more than that. So you imagine that in one second, 200 million emails are sent out. 3.3 million posts of Facebook posts are being created, Instagram photos being uploaded, Twitter being tweeted. So all this information, right? All this data is out there. And there are a variety of use cases we can make use of this data to create products or to create innovative businesses around it. So what if I told you through data science, this data can all be harvested and harnessed in order to generate businesses or to make decisions, right? So what's the difference between data science and business intelligence? Business intelligence are those usually you meet in office the data analysts, perhaps they will be the one doing reports, querying data from either using Excel or using MySQL Workbench to query reports, right? It's a data science is an evolution of this business intelligence, okay? So the difference here is in 3 aspects, which is the data source, the available tools, the goals. Okay, for business intelligence (BI), usually the analyst deals with the BI analyst deals with structured data, usually from a database, which is all in rows and columns, beautifully structured. Whereas data science deals with unstructured data that usually comes from equipment log file, audio, images, emails, tweets, and so on. Right? The tools that they use are also different. Business intelligence only use tools such as perhaps Excel and MySQL Workbench to create data visualizations as well as some simple statistics. Okay, whereas data science uses that as well as some advanced tools such as machine learning to create or to do predictions. Okay, it encompasses the prediction part as well. And for business intelligence, the aim of it is to provide support for strategic decision making based on historical data, whereas data science provide additional business value through advanced functionality such as making predictions, exploring past data, and also being able to handle streaming data. Okay. So in the data science lifecycle, there's a few stages. Here's a simple infographic. So from the real world, data scientists will collect raw data and process, analyze them in order to get meaningful data out of them. And then from the data itself, you can create visualizations which you then present to stakeholders. So in the data science life cycle, it actually always starts with a question. Okay, you always start with a question or hypothesis in mind, and you want to test the hypothesis or to verify the question. So yeah, the first stage of data science life cycle is always having a question, and then you would think where you can obtain this data, and then do the necessary data gathering. After you gather the data, you do a bit of data exploration to find out, okay, is this data dirty? Is there what's the categories of the data? Is there any imbalance in it, and so on? Okay. After you know roughly what data you're working with, you'll be doing some modeling, trial and error with different models, different tools out there in order to create a model that's accurate. Right? You do a training set and a testing set in order to create to test the models and their various accuracies. Okay. After you do the prediction or analysis of the data, you will have interpretation stage, which is the 5th stage, where you will sit down and think, okay, what are the results of this prediction? What's the results of this analysis? What insights did I get from it, right? Once you gather all these results, all these insights, right, you then compile them and visualize them or present them in a beautiful slides of visualization in order to communicate them to the stakeholder or to public or to the relevant people. Okay, and lastly, from the question, from the all the steps you've done, you will get the result, which is the answer to your question. Okay. So these are the 7 stages of the data science life cycle. So to summarize, this is what I like to use. What is data science used for? The way I like to use it is to basically data science is used to do these 3 things. Firstly, is to find out what happened in the past, right? You can find out from various types of data. Let's say I'm running a business, a shop. Let's say a lemonade shop. Okay, very simple example. I record down my data and sales for every day, and I get to visualize and find out on which day, which time of day, what season, what holidays affects my sales, which day has more sales, which day has less sales, and all right. And let's say I want to be a bit more advanced in the now stage, right? I can also determine real time, how are my sales doing. Let's say I have various branch of lemonade shops. I want to know in real time how many, what are the sales like, right? So data science can be used to obtain. Let's say you have let's change example. Let's not use lemonade, and let's say bubble tea. Tea Life, right? Tea Life, as I know, they have such a thing whereby all the Tea Life in Malaysia are integrated to a dashboard, centralized dashboard in the HQ. The CEO Brian Lu has shared on this before. They invested a lot in tech for bubble tea, apparently. So all of the bubble tea shop, they have a dashboard, centralized dashboard, where you can view real-time sales of each franchise or each branch, right? So you know exactly which branch is doing well geographically, where is doing well, where is not doing well, when is it doing well, and so on. So you can answer so many questions using data science by doing the now analysis, real-time data, okay? And lastly, based on the data from the past and based on the data present that you have presently in real time, you can then predict what happens in the future, right? Imagine that you can predict next year, 2021, in January, what are my bubble tea store, what my bubble tea sales like, which flavor is the most sought after, what kind of ingredients, right? The different flavors have different combination of ingredients, which ingredients are the popular ingredients in those popular drinks. You can then make predictions of what kind of drink you can make next. So there's so many different applications of data science. You can name it, you just name it any industry, there's just get application in it, okay? So yeah, data science is used for past, present, and to know the future. So what makes a good data scientist? Okay, this is not a picture of an ape or, yeah, it's to illustrate the T-shaped skill set, okay? The first time I came across this term was when I met Dr. Lau, my Sifu, right? He mentioned some about this T-shaped skill set, which got my curiosity thinking, what is a T-shaped skill set? So T-shaped skill set is basically referred to a person, regardless of industry, but right now we're talking about data science, that has a broad range of skill sets, not just in the so-called like the subject that they study in degree or working in, right? They also have skill sets out of that. They have a broad skill set, and that's what we call generalist. Okay. However, to be a good data scientist, not only you need to have knowledge in various domains and various skill sets, you also need to have a deep expertise in one of them. So that's what a T-shaped skill set means. Okay. And what skill sets in data science, what does it mean for data science? So in data science, having a teacher skill set means that you have software engineering background or rather software engineering knowledge, you have business, you're equipped with business acumen, you know about how to handle big data using distributed computing, and you also have the soft skills to communicate. So that's what you mean by having a generalist skill set, okay? And other than that, the part that you specialize in, is the machine learning, statistics, and domain knowledge part, okay? Sometimes what domain knowledge here means is, example, you're a data scientist for telcos. You'll be specializing for telcos like DG, Maxis, Celcom. If your domain knowledge, your data scientist in, let's say, Grab, you'll be dealing with multiple disciplines such as fintech, ride sharing is one, transportation, and so on. And if you're oil and gas, you'll be specializing in oil and gas. That's what domain knowledge means. Because having domain knowledge gives you an advantage because it helps you. You don't need to spend time, or you will be very aware of the business processes necessary in the respective fields. Let's say in oil and gas, you know that this particular problem exists, or this, compared to someone without the domain knowledge, they have to spend time to ask people, they have to spend time to study the processes in a workflow for oil and gas, right? So yeah, having domain knowledge, I think, gives you an advantage in certain fields. All right. So data scientist having T-shaped skill set is what makes a good data scientist. Okay. Next, we move on to what are the differences between data scientists, data engineer, and data analyst. Okay. So on the left here, we have data scientists. Okay. Data scientist is the person that analyzes, interprets complex data, and they basically manipulate or clean the data that organizes the big data, okay, into data they can understand. For data engineer, they are usually involved in the preparation of data, and they develop, construct, test, and maintain the data architecture, as in the big data pipeline that handles the incoming data and outgoing data, so that data scientists can use that data to do the analysis without worrying. Okay. Lastly, we have data analysts who analyzes numerical data and uses it to help companies make business decisions. Okay, so that's the general high-level description of the differences between data scientist, engineer, and analyst. Okay, next we'll go deep dive into the responsibilities of these three roles. So I'll start with data analyst first this time. Okay, so data analyst is responsible for pre-processing data and gathering, emphasize on representing data through reporting and visualization. Okay, they're responsible for statistical analysis as well as data interpretation. Usually, maximum they use probably Excel and MySQL Workbench only, right? Ensures data acquisition and maintenance as well as to optimize the statistical efficiency and quality of the data. Okay, as for data engineer, as I mentioned, they handle everything about the data pipeline, right? How the data is collected, data being streamed through and processed real time, right? The script prepared by data scientists is being implemented and being implemented to process the data in real time. They understand the programming as well as its complexities for data engineer. They help to deploy, okay? So for the one that makes the models are data scientists, whereas the one that deploy onto servers, onto the distributed servers are the data engineers, okay? They build pipelines for various extract, transform, and load operations, and they ensure data accuracy and flexibility, okay? So lastly, we move on to data scientists. They are responsible for developing those models, right? They do research, trial and error experiments to create prediction machine learning models. They carry out data analytics and optimization using machine learning as well as deep learning. They're involved in strategic planning for data analytics as well as to integrate data and performing ad hoc analysis. Okay, they fill in the gap between the customer as well as the stakeholder. Okay, they can put themselves in the shoes of the stakeholder as well as the customer to produce the insights required to make good business decisions. Next, we move on to the skill sets required by these three different roles. Okay, so as you can see here, is the skill sets are quite different between these three roles. For data analysts, you need to know data warehousing, Google Analytics, programming, a bit of programming knowledge, scripting, SQL knowledge, as well as to data visualization, as well as spreadsheet knowledge. Okay, these are prerequisites for data analysts. For data engineer, you need to know about data warehousing. This is as in the more to big data. Okay, data analyst is something with big data. Data engineer do. They have more advanced programming knowledge, more advanced scripting knowledge, right? You know, automate stuff. They have Hadoop-based analytic knowledge. Hadoop, for those of you that know, is a platform that has various tools for big data analysis. Okay, they have in-depth SQL database because they have to prepare the data, the not just like the data is being captured, they need to be stored in a huge and distributed manner, right? Data acquisition pipeline, machine learning concept knowledge, as well as scripting, reporting, data visualization, a bit on the servers to know whether is the script working or not, is the data being processed right in the right amount and stuff, right? So lastly, we have data scientists, which is the main topic of today. They are good in data mining. They know machine learning and deep learning principles very well. They have in-depth programming knowledge in one of these one of these languages, such as SAS, R, or Python. Okay, the most popular language right now is Python. Next, they also know about Hadoop. They also know about the data optimization as well as some decision making and soft skills to present the results to stakeholders. Okay, for data engineer, doesn't need to face stakeholders a lot, but for data scientists, you do. Okay, so these are the differences between data analyst, engineer, and scientist. Okay, next we move on to a juicy topic, which are the different pay ranges for these different roles. Okay, so this is this data is from pay scale of the in US. Basically, they are more keen to share about salary for some reason. Later I'll show you why. In Malaysia it's not so. So for these three roles, it's being paid different amount. Okay, so data scientist is being paid the highest in US in 2019. This data is from payscale.com. So these are crowdsourced data lah. They're being paid a medium average of 120K per year. Data engineer about the same. Data analyst a bit, a lot more less. So as you can see, these three roles are very, very different skill set and different pay grade. So you know which one to choose lah. Okay. So I've also done a search in Malaysia. This is for Malaysia. Oh, sorry, this is not Payscale. This is Glassdoor.com. Yeah, it's green color, Glassdoor.com. So in Malaysia, right, data isn't that many, not that many people contributed. As you can see, data engineer, there's not enough data to show the trend, right? So yeah, for the trend remains consistent. Data scientist paid the most. Data engineer, I think not enough data, so I can't say for sure this is the pay grade of data engineer in Malaysia. I believe it's being paid higher than this. Data analyst is being paid about 70K a year. Okay, not, this is in ringgit. All right. So yeah, as you can see, being paid these three roles, first of all, different skill set, different responsibilities, as well as different pay grade. So it would be wise to make the career decision based on whichever that suits you lah. Whether you like the responsibilities more, whether you like the pay grade more. Okay. So what kind of language or libraries you will need to learn or you will deal with to become a data scientist? You will definitely, I would be prefer to recommend to learn Python because it's more popular, right? It's more flexible as well. You not only can use it to do data analysis, you can also use it to do various other things such as programming a web app, right? So you can do end-to-end, you can do the scripting, you can do the data scraping, you can do the modeling, you can do the analysis, prediction models, and then deploy it into a user-facing product such as a web app or even in a web app, right, that serves the results of these predictions, that serves the results. Basically, it can become an entire product on its own. Okay, that's Anaconda, which is an environment manager for Python. There's a Jupyter Notebook. Other than that, you also deal with some databases. These are the basic ones, such as MySQL, MongoDB, right? In some more advanced stages, you deal with Memcache, Redis. When you deal with big data, you deal with more advanced stuff such as distributed databases, how to set up cluster of databases, how to set up Redis, Memcache, and so on, Elasticsearch, right? So these are the basic ones. Lastly, also some of the famous libraries that you will deal with, or you should learn, NumPy and Pandas, two famous data manipulation libraries that helps you wrangle or helps you manipulate the data into the shape or the requirements you need, right, in order to produce specific processing or analysis data. Then there's also visualization libraries such as Seaborn, SciPy, and Matplotlib, right? All these are very good data visualization libraries that you use to visualize the data. Okay, there's so many libraries out there, and Python enables you to do all that. Okay. So next, I'll show you some examples of data visualizations that you can see. Here's one. This is on insurance claim. You can actually animate your visualizations, so it'll be very engaging for the stakeholders or the public to view it, right? So you can see as you change the parameters on the right, the visualization changes as well. Okay. Other than let me share my screen. So other than this kind of normal graph, you can also see data visualizations being used in news reporting. Okay. So it's pretty interesting. I like to see the use of data visualization by South China Morning Post. They have very beautiful data-driven news reporting. Okay. So yeah, they visualize and animate the data they use in order to present information or to deliver news. You see, they don't use much words. They use data visualization to present the information. Okay. So much clearer than trying to type out an entire essay or an entire report as to what's happening. Okay, because a picture, I believe a picture paints 1,000 words. Okay, that's the importance of data visualization, and that's how it's being used in the real world. Okay, so where's the slide? Oops. All right, that's better. Okay, so next we move on to the next part of the presentation. This will be on some of the data projects I did in hackathons that won me some awards. Okay, so back in 2016, I joined the Maybank Hackathon, which is the first data hackathon I joined. So for this hackathon, right, Maybank gave us 11 million rows of customer transaction data, right? Just customer transaction data, and we have to think what external data sets that we can pull in, download from online, that can be used to predict certain things. So the problem they want us to help solve is how can banks grow their deposit deposit. It means how to make people open accounts and store money in it. Because ultimately, by increasing the amount of money the bank holds, they can make more investments, make more trading and stuff, so they can get a form of revenue there. Okay, so they want people to open accounts with them. Okay, so by analyzing the 11 million rows, we found so many different insights, and we have to select and pick the most meaningful insights, as well as what action can be taken based on each of those data. So from the data, we actually analyzed a few things. We got a few insights. We presented this to the Maybank stakeholders, the judges, who are the judges for the competition, right? We suggested to run targeted marketing campaign according to the time of the year, because we realized as a trend, right? When you visualize the number of opening of accounts and some other, I don't know what other data we analyze. Okay, so time series in the past 5 years, there's been many different amount of account opening and closing throughout the year. So based on this, right, you got the data, you got the visualization. So what you need to do is to present it into what can be done, suggest what can be done to the stakeholders in order for them to improve their business. So yes, running targeted marketing campaign. So when the account opening is going down, you want to push it up. Whereas when account closing, people closing down their accounts, moving to other banks, is going up, you want to run campaigns to push it down. So that happens at different time of the year. Without data science, without these insights, the bank would typically run it both campaigns the entire year long. So that would result in perhaps wasted efforts, or just stagnant. They won't be increasing or decreasing efforts. So that would be a bit of waste of money lah. So lastly, we also introduced referral programs, because we realized that we had an assumption, we have a hypothesis that rich people will have rich friends. Okay, so based on the closely related geographic address of the client, right, random addresses basically, we can assume that they will also refer friends which are equally as rich to open accounts at the bank. So what we do here is to create a very, very attractive referral program, whereby for each referral you make, the referral reward increases by a certain amount. Okay, and lastly, we also give discounts on loan interest, because we also notice some of the customers take loans, and some of them have multiple loans, and some of them have little loans. So we also give them suggestion to run discounts when the deposit, right, the money deposit in the bank reaches a certain tier. Okay, for this we won the runner-up of the Maybank Hackathon 2016. So next we move on to TED Hack. This is another one of my favorite, right? TED Hack is held at DG. You can see there's a DG logo down on the right here. So for this one, my friends are all web developers and the only data scientists there. The problem that we found that we want to solve, the topic is very broad actually. You just need to use some APIs provided by the sponsors. So the data that the problem to solve here is that there's a lot of noise in the comment sections of social media, namely Facebook. Okay, and telemarketing is a very ineffective marketing effort, and it incurs a huge cost to companies. So the inspiration I got here is, back then iPhone 7 was just launched. DG post, let's say they post their iPhone 7 and their respective plans, right? People will be commenting down there. thousands of comments will be down there. Some will be complaints, some will be spam, some will be actual customers that want to buy an iPhone or are interested to buy an iPhone. So since the interest is already there, why not there be a way to identify these customers and run an automated promotional campaign, not using telemarketing, because telemarketing involves humans, using a chatbot, Facebook chatbot to engage these users directly. So what the solution is about is I created a program, a script that can scrape and analyze comments on Facebook posts. Okay, let's say the iPhone 7 post by DG, and from the comments that we scraped in different languages, Chinese, Malay, and English, we prepare a customer intent corpus, right? List of keywords, dictionary of keywords that suggest intent. Okay, and this will help to find out which customer, which Facebook IDs are interested to know more about the plan or interested to purchase the iPhone 7 and the respective plans. And then based on the data that's scraped, right, we identify and analyze. A chatbot automatically prompt each user based on the Facebook ID to ask them if they want to promote them individualized special offers and facilitate the entire process within the chatbot itself. You can buy a phone, you can subscribe to a plan through the chatbot itself. Okay, for that we won the first place for this hackathon out of I think about 40 teams. Yeah, and this win even went in the newspaper. This is my second or third time entering the newspaper actually. And lastly, very last hackathon project, which I want to highlight, is the OCBC MMU Digiton. For this one, I entered solo and I got first place. It's another OCBC is a bank, an overseas bank. Okay, so once again, for this one, I deal with social media data, and what I do here is not text, it's image. Okay. So what happens here? Again, I said marketing campaigns are ineffective, unengaging. Telemarketing is ineffective. So how to solve this? So everyone has Facebook and Instagram. So they post pictures of things they like, things they experience, meaningful stuff on social media. So what if you can scrape what they post, right? You scrape, let's say in this case, I scrape using Python. I created a web app that scrapes the Instagram photos, the recent 30, I said recent 30 Instagram photos that the user posts. From there, from the images we analyze, we put it through machine vision to computer vision to analyze what objects are there in this picture. Let's say he posts a lot of food. He posts a lot of he posts a lot of outdoor. He posts a lot of cars, a lot of pictures of cars, right? So he posts. You can see his car, automotive. You get objects within these pictures, right? Then from there you can make it analyze those objects, keywords into an umbrella sub-branch using Google API, Google NLP API. You can get the industry where these objects belong to. So let's say you get a lot of chicken chop, cake, dessert, cafe, coffee, blah, blah, blah. All this belongs to F&B. So you know this customer is prone to F&B and that's what their interest profile indicates. Okay, so based on some research, it's also said that it's also proven that people with different hobbies or different interests have different net worth. So why not banks target people with high net worth? And how they do this is by analyzing what they post about. Okay, so people maybe post a lot about some luxurious activity like golfing, I don't know, opera, going to the opera and so on, right? All these are more to the high affluent people, their hobbies. Okay, so lastly, again, during chatbot, from the net worth and the interest profile, we get the data that I've obtained, created a campaign recommender to suggest campaigns for the user to run, and then the chatbot will pop up to this user offering different types of offers, incentives, rewards based on their interests. Okay, so for this one, I took 48 hours, 39 or 48 hours, I can't recall, 2 sleepless days to come up with this project using Python. Okay, so for this, I got first prize and I got the money all to myself. This is a pretty fun experience. Okay, so next, I'll also share of some of the topics, some of the projects I've done out of Hackathon. So there are some I did for fun, some I did for paid, some I did in my day-to-day job. Okay, so data visualization, I've done scraping from various sources. You name it, I've done it. Okay, I've done Facebook scraping, I've done Laoyat scraping, news scraping, Twitter scraping, Reddit scraping, Telegram scraping. So various websites, many websites out there can be scraped. And there's many interesting things you can do with the data that you scraped. Okay. So let's have a simple one. This is done during my degree days a few years ago. Okay, I scraped Twitter data using RStudio and created a simple visualization on the chronological timeline on the tweets surrounding the hashtag I stand with Ahmed, which is a boy, an Arab boy who brought a homemade clock to school, and people, I think the teacher reported to the police to ask police to catch him because they thought it was a bomb. Yeah, so it was a pretty big phenomenon back then, and I did a time series visualization as well as geographical visualization, so you know which country cares deeply about this topic. Okay. Next, here are some very chin-chai stuff I did also during the early degree days. Yeah. Okay, so this is scraping the Facebook post comments. This is where I learned how to script Facebook comments by doing self-projects, right? From the Johor Prince post, he posted about don't rock the boat, don't change the government, vote wisely, blah, blah, blah. So since he's so well loved by the rakyat, right, I don't know whether does people agree or disagree with him? Do people stand by him or oppose him? So from this analysis, I managed to find out the sentiments of the comments against him. So majority of it was negative, okay, negative, positive, and neutral. And this is a heat map. You can know what comments have the most negative and most positive keywords. And also you can find out what are the most commonly mentioned keywords. So the comments are in a mix of mostly Malay and some English. So you can see politik, Najib, Hidup, Tun, Kerana Baru, okay. So yeah, that's one I did on Johor Prince, and this one got sort of viral, I think with 54 shares and a lot of comments back then, and people approached me for job opportunities, and so I have project opportunities. Okay, so other than that, I got curious to try out if I can scrape the famous Lawyat Forum. So Lawyat Forum is a forum that's been around for more than 20 years, the biggest forum in Malaysia, online forum in Malaysia. It's like the Reddit of Malaysia lah. Okay, it's various topics. So there's this influencer called Josephine Yap. Okay, so I just out of like Chinchai just do one data scraping, just try out if I can really scrape all these 800, 900 comments out of this Lawyat forum, and then make a presentation based on it, because there's no way you can read 800 comments and summarize it, right? So this is one of the very simple ways you can summarize the thread. So most people are talking about how her face is a bit plastic, have a bit of a mustache, a bit chachat, and yeah, most of them talking about the face and ass. So yes, these are some of the visualizations you can do that you can do. So next level, okay, other than just one-off visualizations, I've also done before an MVP for cryptocurrency intelligence, where users can see real-time insights or real-time news, real-time sentiments, as well as price movements of cryptocurrency. This is back in 2018. Okay, so this platform helps you make sense of the past, gives you a real-time sentiment of the present, and predicts the future price. Aims to predict the future prices based on sentiment. Okay, I developed this web dashboard using Python Django. Deployed the scripts to scrape and store data in DB. Done the scraping, classification, analysis of tweets from Twitter, Reddit, Telegram. Okay, so each of these sources, I'm able to scrape them and classify them according to which coin they're talking about. Okay, and yeah, this is one of the products I've came out with. And lastly, this is a very simple one. So in Magic, we have a flagship accelerator program. Accelerator program, basically every year, especially last year, there's up to 1,200 people applying to the program. This year is the seventh cohort of running that program. Okay, so each year there'll be a bunch of the gap team, basically like a bunch of people, 10 to 12 people sitting down to filter through each of those applications. Okay, then they filter down to top 30. They only select top 30, and there's multiple stages involved. So when I got into Magic, my boss assigned to me, hey, can you find a way to automate this process based on the past applications data that we have? Okay, so what I did here is based on sitting down with the requirement gathering, I sit down with the team to find out how they select these applications, what criteria they look at, what metrics they look at, and how to measure these metrics. And then from each requirement, I determine there are 16 key metrics that they use to filter from top 1,000 to top maybe 200 or 100. Subsequently have to be done by people from the industry and so on. But the first level, the biggest of the most of the time spent is the first 1,000 to top 100 or 200. Okay, there I managed to automate this process whereby evaluates on 16 key metrics and come up with a score for them. It is being summarized in this radar chart. Okay, and for each metrics, the score is justified. When you click on Y, you'll find out what's the reason behind the weightage assigned to these metrics. Okay, so not only does it detect keywords, it also detects trends, as in the price, the revenue, or user movements in the past 6 months. So yeah, we managed to get accuracy of about 75% compared to human selection for this year's cohort. So yeah, this is my deal with Magic. Okay, so now we move on to the last part of the presentation. Last part of the presentation of this talk will be on the different case studies on different industries where data science is being applied. Mainly, I'll focus on education. I'll be focusing on commerce, agriculture, as well as manufacturing. So I'm not sure if some of you have seen this, but I find this super fascinating. This is data science in education. Okay, so what happened here is that I'm not sure, late last year or early this year, children in a school in China were required to wear brainwave measuring headbands. Okay, so as you see, each of them have a headband on their head. This device allows teachers to monitor how focused or what's the attention level of the students during the class. Okay, and from there, right, they have a dashboard to let you see real time what are the students' score of attention, how much are they focusing on the subject, how much are they not focusing on the subject, and for this they will also generate a score, a report card. Okay, so you can see it's actually quite dystopian future, but quite fascinating. As in, you see each of these students, their headband have a different color. They have red, yellow, and if it's good, having good attention span, is green. All this data you can see is a report. All this data being gathered from these poor children in real time can be visualized in a dashboard. Okay, so you know what's the average median attention span of the class of the 40 students. How many of them are not paying attention? How many of them are not? How does the attention score being correlate to the results, or rather from the attention they pay in class for the past 7 days? How will it correlate to the pop quiz next week? So there's all these different use cases for the data being gathered. Okay, so how can this help teachers? They can know which student needs more help or more attention to help them learn certain things. Okay, so in Malaysia classroom, you know, like one teacher is being assigned to handle 40 students, so it's quite a challenge. So having this, you know, real time, don't need to ask one by one. You know exactly perhaps the performance in exam correlate with this attention score. Okay, next, if you know if the students mainly, no matter what, if you tried different teaching style and the student's attention score goes down, you know your teaching style is not working and you might need to change your teaching method or delivery style. Okay. Next, parents. After if you watch this video to the end, the parents have an app to see how their children do in school. So they not only get access to their academic result, they also get real-time results to their attention scores. Okay. So yeah, here's a video I found for, this is also measuring attention score, but this is not using the headband. This is using just a video. From a video feed, you know how many people is looking at their phones, how many people is concentrating, how many people is looking elsewhere, they daydreaming. So you get a real-time attention score here, right? So as you can see, this data science in action. We do CV, computer vision. We classify their paying attention or not each frame. You can also have real-time visualizations. Okay. So yeah, this is data science in action, different parts of data science in action. Okay, so imagine, right, not just this can be used for students, you also can use to measure lecturers. Is lecturer or teacher good or not? Imagine no matter which class they teach, all of it average at a lower attention score. Shouldn't that be their KPI, or and can be used to adjust their teaching style or to really give increment or promote or reduce them, right? So let me move on to the next one. So next, data science in marketing or commerce. So it's quite fascinating. In marketing commerce, let's say in Amazon, Shopee, so many businesses, right? Brick and mortar businesses, Uniqlo, and so on. Data science is being used to analyze what to suggest you to buy. If you notice in Shopee, after you view a certain product, then they have suggested products, and each person that views the same product might or might not have different suggestions. So these are called recommendation engines, and how it works, the core or the simple visualization of how it works is a market basket analysis. Okay, so from a list of transactions that people of things that people have bought, different people have bought, you actually can find out, right? You actually can find out apple beer is being bought frequently, and beer and milk or beer and rice is being bought frequently. So when someone views on or wants to purchase or want to check out on a beer, you will want to suggest them apples, you want to suggest them rice. So of course in real life it's not 8 rows of data, it comes in millions or maybe billions of rows of data. So from there you can make very accurate predictions or recommendations for the users, and this will result in better profit as in more sales generated. Okay. From this analysis, you can also make a graph analysis. You can also make visualize it in the form of graph, as in, like people buy rice, they also buy milk. People who buy milk will also buy cereal, right? So yeah, data science helps you to not only make predictions, also helps you to visualize out all these different relationships that you might not easily see otherwise. Okay. Lastly, next, in commerce, there's also something called customer profiling. Customer profiling. If you ever wondered how Google Ads or Facebook ads work, right? Why do you get certain ads, and why do you being shown a different ads from your friend or different search result? This is it. So this is how they find out what kind of segment you are from. Are you what gender are you? What age group are you? What's your income level? What's your most visited category? And from there you can make a profile. What intent or what stage? Whether is it just browsing? Is it wanting to purchase, looking for offers? You can categorize customers in different categories and take certain actions to close the deal, right? Next, there's also example on the frequency of visit, visitor type, visitor frequency, purchase recency, how recent you purchase items, and how long you spent on this site. So based on all this data that you might think would be quite trivial, if you combine them together with data science, you can make analysis and predictions on how to close a deal faster, right? Maybe I'll be browsing, might not even buy, maybe I'm not considering to buy, but once you have these insights of what kind of behavior I have, you can take certain actions to make me want to buy more, and in the end I make the purchase and you get a deal, you get a sale. Okay, so that's data science in commerce. Next, in farming, in agriculture, even there's multiple use cases of data science. Okay, there's digital soil and crop mapping. What this means is that, example, you put a drone, you collect footages of the soil, of the hill, of the land distribution, and so on, right? You can then make predictions on whether would this soil condition, would this distribution, this density of the forest, this density of plants, how close or how far to plant each plant in order to make the optimum crop yield, right? Next, there's also weather prediction. As in, using the weather, you can predict the upcoming days. How will the weather affect your crop? So let's say without any prediction, you would know, for example, let's say this plant doesn't grow well in hot weather, or this plant, you don't overwater the plants. Let's say you already water the plants and then it rains. The plant gets too much water, the plant dies as well. So having weather prediction, you get to know how the weather predicts, how the weather will affect your plant, and you take the right action to optimize the yield. Okay. Next, there's also the fertilizer recommendation. So there's for fertilizer, there's many different kinds, many different compositions of different chemicals. So for different plants, different fertilizer works well for different plants. So by experimenting with the results and all, you can create a model that predicts, for this composition of fertilizer, which plant is it suitable for. For this, using this fertilizer, 3 different fertilizer, you can predict which one will give you the best result with this plant, right? So that's another use case. Next is also disease detection and pest management. So you can see plants also got diseases, also have sickness. So sometimes the disease can spread from plant to plant, and in the end, the entire crop, the entire field of the plants will die. Okay, so having disease detection, you can use computer vision to check is a plant healthy or not, how much UV rays is it receiving, what's the temperature, right? What's the nutrient amount, water level, humidity, and so on. You can detect whether it's a plant healthy and whether or not which part of the field has the disease, and you can stop it before realizing it's too late. Okay. Next, in manufacturing, lastly, in manufacturing, manufacturing also has data science applications, such as fault prediction and preventive maintenance. So in a factory, right, there's a lot of machines, and each of these machines generates a log. So example, let's say to assemble a certain product, you have 5 different machines or 5 different assembly stages. Each of these stages have different machines that outputs a different value. Let's say temperature, let's say yield, let's say yield per hour, yield per minute, number of product produced. So if you see suddenly there's anomaly in the temperature, anomaly in the noise level, anomaly in the product being assembled, certain defects that can be detected with computer vision, you can then do preventive maintenance before it actually breaks down completely, or you can also use those information, those data, to predict when the equipment will fail. Okay, this is what we did for the train hackathon, where we given data set of different equipment on the train track, along the train tracks, and we had to make fault prediction of the train hackathon for the train in the hackathon. So that's one of the 11 use cases that they want us to try to solve. Okay, so next for manufacturing, you can know how to forecast demand, how to manage your inventory. Okay, so maybe to produce rubber glove, you need to order nitrile, order rubber, and order other raw materials. So by predicting predicting the demand for the product at different time of the year, different week of the month, you get to manage your inventory better, so that it doesn't go stale. The inventory doesn't go bad, or you order too much, order too little. Okay, so all this you will add to help you to manage your inventory, predict demand, and then from there you can also do price optimization. Okay, using the data of the sales, either of your competitor or either of the raw materials, changes in raw materials, you can do predictions or analysis in order to optimize the pricing of your goods, so that you can reach the sweet spot between supply, demand, and pricing. Okay, so yes, that's the data science applications in the different industries. So here I'd like to conclude today's talk, which is I've shared about what is data science, the difference between data science, AI, machine learning, the different stages of life cycle, what is data science being used for, what makes a good data scientist, as well as the case studies and the projects I've done, as well as the differences between data science, data scientist, data engineer, as well as data analyst. Okay, so that's all for today's talk. Thank you for your time. And next, I would like to announce that I will be teaching in Forward School for the next cohort of the Data Science Bootcamp, the part-time bootcamp, from October 2020, next month, to January 2021. So I'll be there physically to teach the class. For those of you interested to have a career change to data science, do check out the course. And for more information, I'll be passing to Hakim to explain more. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Daren, for amazing talk, especially the part of the student with the headband. I cannot unsee that. It's literally like dystopian. Like, oh man, that's Asian kid nightmare. You imagine you go back, your mom, hey, why your attention rate is so low? Then getting scolded because of that. I can. I mean, it is something that. Oh man, shit.
Data is
Interesting.
power.
Okay, correct. Imagine you go back, you got scolded by your mom because your attention rate is low at school. I mean, yeah, okay, back to the, yeah. So I will share a little bit about what Daren mentioned just now, is that Forward School and Daren actually collaborating for a data science program, part-time certificate program. Let me share my screen first. Okay, so after this, so I will share a little bit about this program, and then we're gonna go to our Q&A, and I will answer your question. So if you have any question from the previous talk, put in the Q&A there, the bottom part. So put in Q&A, And after this, we're gonna go back to the Q&A and answer all your questions. All right. All right. I hope everyone can see my screen right now. Can you guys see it? Someone raise hand. Can you guys see the screen right now? Daren, can you see my screen?
I see this for the data science banner.
Correct. Data science part-time certificate program. Yeah, correct. Okay. So okay, can see. All right. So just quickly, I will brief through about this program. So Power School and Daren, like he mentioned just now, collaborating on this certificate program part-time, and it's a 17-week program that equip you with data science competency using Python, Anaconda, Jupyter Notebook, and many more. So let me go through. And our intake for the next intake is on October. So it's next month. So if you're interested, you can put your application right now. So briefly about this bootcamp. So this bootcamp is a beginner friendly a program that can equip you with data science knowledge and how you can prep your data, how you can visualize your data, and what you're going to learn more or less. Everyone can read on the slide, but to sum up, it's basically you learn how to use Python programming language, which mainly used in this program, to apply on your work or your project or something that you want to build with a lot of data. So for example, how to prepare your data, how to structureize it, or how to prep it so it can be data that the program can analyze. And all of this is actually applicable to real world. For example, like Daren say, how to say is in the past, present, and future. Whether you want to know what happened in the past with all your data, whether you're manufacturing, supply chain, or you want to know what happened back in the days and what happening at the moment, and then how you can predict, let's say, the demand for your product for next week, and so that you can predict how much you should produce for the next week. So this is what you're going to learn for this program, and you're going to learn from the basic Python to the working on your own project at this bootcamp. And what you're going to learn throughout this whole program, 17 weeks. So just this is a briefly curriculum. So at week 0, you have pre-bootcamp where you learn about the basic of Python programming language. If you doesn't have any basic on programming, you're going to cover it here. And then week 1 to week 3, we cover the fundamental of the theory and to understanding how machine learning, artificial intelligence work, how CNN works. And then after that, the week 4 to week 6, data preparation and exploration, how you can gather all this data, whether it's from IoT device, either it's from scraping, like what Daren did with Twitter, Loyat. So it's, that's one of it. And then from week 7 to week 9, statistical modeling. So they figure out what kind of statistical model that's suitable for your specific problem, whether you are dealing with supply chain or whether you're dealing in manufacturing defect. So this sort of thing. So you need to know which one to apply. And then week 10 to week 12, you learn about a machine learning method. So what kind of algorithm or what kind of method that you can use on a specific program or on specific application. Let's say you want to analyze image or you want to analyze sentiment, whether you want to analyze text. So there's a different method for each of these category. And then last, not last, is a week 13 until week 16 is you work on your own project. So you will propose an idea to Daren and Forward School what you want to build. So for this, from week 13 to week 16, you're gonna work on it, or while you are also learning more advanced topic that Daren gonna cover. So you at the end of the program, the week 17, we have a demo day. We're gonna present the topic, the project that you made by your idea, or you get from our hiring partner. We will come in and also see your presentation, and they will comment whether your project is makes sense, or is it they were interested in make sense, or even some even offer them a job straight away at the event as well. Yeah, so that's more or less of our curriculum. And as I mentioned previously, so our instructor for this program is Daren Tan. So I think this is the same introduction that he did in the beginning. So more or less, he working with Magic, and especially dealing with data. You can see he lists out how to rank all the startup and everything. So he will be teaching until Jan 2021. okay, for this whole cohort for 4 months. Yeah, so for those who are thinking to go master degree to get data science knowledge, let's say your company interested, hey, we want to explore how we can use data science because we have a lot of data in in manufacturing factory, but we doesn't know how to utilize it. Some of you might be thinking, oh, maybe I should get a master degree. I would really appreciate if you guys can also consider forward school, because there's some comparison between master degree and forward school. I won't say one of them is the best or worse. It just has some parameter that you can consider. For example, time commitment. In master degree, you have to commit 2 years, but at forward school, you have 4 month intensive program. So you can quickly, let's say your company, because if you wait 2 years is time investment. So investment time is money. So if your company are looking how to quickly utilize the data, probably you want to look for a more shorter time so you can save more money. And then career coaching. So at university or college, they are focused more on academic position, more on research. But at forward school, we focus on project-based, hands-on, and we also link to our hiring partners. Oh, what kind of problem that are happening in their company, and how can our student help on that. That's why we have your own final project at the end. Well, whether you propose your own project or we can ask our hiring partner to give us a project for you to work on. So when you finish your project going to be used by the company, which is a real thing, right? Instead of just focus on research. I won't say it's research bad, but it's based on also your objective. What your objective is, you want to straight apply it or you want to make a paper, publish a paper. And then up-to-date curriculum. For I mean, this also again, we are not trying to say that you master degree bad, but for our school, we're really flexible in our syllabus. Let's say if we foresee the forecast that's the new trend in machine learning, we can quickly change our syllabus. So once you graduate, you are using the latest and greatest tool when you finish our program. Meanwhile, I mean, I won't say university, but me myself, a university graduate, I know what's going there is they are quite a little bit outdated syllabus. So because I'm me myself a mechanical engineer, so this sort of thing is thing that I could relate me myself. For those who are from university also, I think can relate with it. How university syllabus is actually a bit outdated rather compared to industry. Then theory hands-on ratio. So at our school, we really focus on hands-on, with 20% of theory and 80% of hands-on. So you have more opportunity to hands-on, actually learn by doing. So instead of learning theory, sit in the class or listening to lecture. And then portfolio building, yeah, like I say, we are focused on hands-on. That means will be building project by project. So in our program, you're gonna set up your own GitHub and push all your project there. So by the end, you finish the program, you show a portfolio or project that you can showcase. Let's say you want to change your career or you want to add value, add skill set on your belt. So you can propose to your manager, hey, I want to do this data project. I have the portfolio, I can do this. So it's proven, because if you see in the tech world, they are more focused on your GitHub portfolio than your certificate. I think those who are in tech can relate on this. And also our instructor, this things that we brought at our school, we really pick an instructor that actually in the industry, that doing it, not just academic. So at our school, we've really right now all our instructor is actually focused from industry. Those are either they have a full time or they are doing freelance. They have desire to teach, and they come to forward school to teach. And master degree, again, me myself from a university graduate, not all lecturers have industry experience, so they are more focused, like say, researching and publish paper, because university they are focusing on publishing paper because they are ranking, university ranking based on that. So there's some bit of prioritization there. So I won't say it's bad, but if you are looking, if you are engineer, they are more focused on hands-on. I would say hands-on is much more better learning process lah. But yeah, and then like Daren showcase, there's a few projects that is done, and this also our previous cohort, our student. If you see, there's a Ho Jiaming. So she developed a COVID-19 drug discovery. So she get all this data or what of the drug that can help reduce the symptom of COVID-19, and he can detect, oh, this drug can help reduce the symptom by using data. I mean, at this time she actually have a bit of domain expertise in medical, so that's why she can do this. Like Darren mentioned just now, if you have a domain expertise, will be add on with your data science skill, it will be really powerful. Because let's say you're a manufacturing engineer, you know why defect happen, and if you can just use the data of manufacturing, you can, oh, okay, now I know why at the time, why on October usually there's a lot of defect, maybe the temperature or maybe the weather. So there's something that how data science actually can be really powerful when you have a domain of expertise. And for example, we have also analysis on best-selling courses on Udemy. Let's say you want to make money on Udemy, but you want to also, you doesn't know which one is the best-selling courses. Sometimes they say the best-selling, a lot of people join the courses, but there's a lot of dropout rate. So that means there's something wrong with the courses. Even though a lot of people buying it, but if there is a lot of dropout, that means there's something wrong with the courses. So this is something that he used, so he can identify. So not just based on the Udemy own ranking, he used all the data to have much more comprehensive information about courses in Udemy. And let's say he want to build his own Udemy courses, he can use the data. Oh, a lot of people love web development, and web development have a very low dropout rate, and maybe because of the instructor, or maybe because of the time, or maybe because of video. So he can use all this information to craft much more elaborate online courses. And I believe that a lot of you guys are wondering, hey, how much is this program cost? So the program cost is RM 12,200, and I know we are totally understand it's a not cheap price, it's not the cheapest, and we totally understand not everyone can afford it. But what you get for this 12,200 is actually 16 full-length on-site classes. Not 16, it's actually 32 full-length on-site classes within 16 weeks. And then you get professional GitHub portfolio. Like I say, your assignment you're going to publish on GitHub. So once you finish the 4 months, you have a portfolio, that strong portfolio that you can show it to your future employer or your manager. And access to our state-of-the-art learning portal. For Wasco, we have a learning portal that we're proud of. And for those who ever have opportunity to use our learning portal, you know what I mean by state-of-the-art. It's really powerful learning portal. And also we have dedicated on-site instructor, which is Daren. He will come over to Penang, Georgetown Penang, to teach our students. So you are not just, we are not, I mean, at Wasco, we are huge proponent of physical face-to-face learning. Even though we understand the current situation, a lot of people doing online learning, it's possible, but for us, I think human touch is very powerful, that you cannot just replicate on online classes. And then besides that, we have we do offer, but at the same time, we also do offer flexibility to do remote learning. So because we understand not everyone can come to our campus at Georgetown Penang, but we really encourage, if possible, come to our campus once a month to actually meet Darren physically, face to face, because there's a lot of human touch that you cannot replicate on online environment. And you're also gonna get certification from Forward School. And yeah, like I said earlier, we know that it's not cheap, it's not the cheapest. So that's why we have this funding option for you in order to join this program. So first, we have a scholarship program. So if you want to apply for our scholarship program, stand a chance to receive a partial to 100% full scholarship in tuition discount. And also right now, we only have 5 seats left for this scholarship. And our program, we are only limited to 12 seats. So if you want to join this program, or you want to have take the chance, just go through our website, apply for this program. And because if you are asking for scholarship, we need more time to process. So yeah, if you're interested, apply as soon as possible. And besides that, you also have a monthly installment plan. If scholarship doesn't work for you, you can spread out the cost of your tuition by paying in multiple installment duration by your credit card issuer or by your bank. And then Also, there's another option for HRDF claimable. So if you're you can ask your HR department if you can use have access to HRDF fund to fund your study for this program. So there are several funding options that we prepare for our students, because we know 12,200 is not cheap, especially at this time where people want to keep as much cash saving as much as possible. But imagine what you get from this 12,200 is actually a really powerful package. That you have the GitHub portfolio, you have access to our learning portal, face-to-face classes. If you want, you have an option. Either you want to come physically or you can join us remotely. And I think that more or less that's my sharing for this program. Before we go to our Q&A session, so if you would like to learn more about this program, you can go to the link, and I will put the link also in the chat later on. And the application deadline is on 2nd October 2020, which is next week. So if you are interested, especially if you want to apply for scholarship, do apply, because we need some time to go through your application, and we actually receive a lot of application right now to process. So if you want to be prioritized, you can apply tonight. Even after this, apply. There's no fee to apply for this program. Just apply, and then I'm gonna give you a call, and I will help you to understand more about this program. All right, I think that's it from me. So let's see, we have a few questions that are waiting. Let me stop sharing. All right, so let's go to our Q&A session. Daren, are you there? Are you ready to check our question from our student? Everyone ready?
Yes.
If you have any question,
Yes, I am.
please put right now, because if you put late, we might not be able to answer your question. So if you have any question, put it straight away in the Q&A session, all right? Okay, first question. Okay, let's go to the Q&A session first. If a web developer want to switch to data science, can you suggest what step they can take?
Go join this class.
Is there any particular, like from web development to data science, is there any particular link or bridge in terms of
All
like,
right.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, sure. Okay, a serious answer lah. So if you want to switch data science, is if you have a web developer background, it's definitely an advantage compared to those that doesn't have, because it'll be easier for you to pick up the languages, libraries, and so on, right?
I see.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Because okay. Hakim, I got a request. Can we limit the
Yep.
Q&A to 4 questions?
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so for this doesn't put the question, so you missed the opportunity just now.
Right.
All right. Okay, next, let me see. Next we have, how do you wait. Okay, who is the first one? Wait, let me check. Oh, okay. What exactly is the future of data science? Is their role is still necessary?
For data science, definitely there's a future lah. As you can see, if you go search in PayScale, JobStreet, all those, you will see a lot of vacancies. The demand is still there. I don't think it's replaceable by automation anytime soon. Okay. So yeah, data science is definitely a human touch. Because ultimately, after you make the processing, the business requirement gathering, and all those, when you prepare the analysis and pipelines and all those, ultimately the analysis that comes out is to be understandable by humans. So in many different industries and use cases, yeah, human is still necessary. Yeah.
I see. I think especially in a domain-specific area, you still need human with the domain expertise to actually guide the system to actually make a correct decision. Because
Correct.
even right now, I mean, it's not like they are super intelligent, can know everything, but to say like popular pop culture. Yeah, I think that is something that interesting. Okay, then we have a question from Lo Kim Ho. Hi there, may I ask which sources do you got the data of Sciencefield latest news? Oh, okay. So which yeah, basically where you get the latest news about data science lah.
Right. Let's see. I would split it into 2 parts. One is Facebook. Facebook, join the right groups. Of course, I promote my own group, the Kaki. One. Data Science Malaysia, Big Data Malaysia. Deep Learning Malaysia. These are very good groups to follow for data science related news. Other than that, on the internet, there would be I would love to join. I love to explore Reddit, Quora, mainly especially on topics surrounding China. Okay, topics
I
surrounding,
see.
because China is like 10, 15 years ahead from Malaysia in terms of technology, data science, and so on. So it's always good to keep up to date with what's happening there and what's going to happen there. And also Medium is a very good place to keep up to date.
Hmm.
Medium, this one blog called Towards Data Science. So I always read articles from there. And of course, lastly, Kaggle. Yeah.
Yeah, so for those who doesn't know what is Kaggle is go to site if you are looking for data science competition and also a data set. So it's a Kaggle, kaggle.com. Okay, and then we have a quite unrelated question. How do you unwind to prevent burnout? Uh, yeah, but really, can you quickly maybe asking for tips? I guess
Yeah. Okay.
maybe as is it? I'm not sure who asking. Is it a data scientist itself? I'm not sure.
How to burn out? I would say few things lah. Okay. One is
Hmm.
manage your deadlines properly. Um, Plan ahead, right? Always plan time. There's time for work, there's time to rest, there's time to live your life. That's one. Two is if you can't meet the deadline, unforeseen circumstances usually happens in programming. You can't find the bug, or in data or tech, you can't find the bug. You can't find what's going on, why the model is not predicting right. You need more
Hmm.
time. Renegotiate deadlines, and also basically ask either renegotiate deadlines or renegotiate out, delegate the task out. Yeah.
I see. I see. All right. I think that's for the Q&A. So I saw a few questions in the chat. So will
Okay.
graduate from your data science program be taught all the data scientist skill set shown here? Probably you can answer the rest. I think I can answer for them. I think this one.
Okay, yeah, sure. For this skill set, comparing, I think the one, so you should refer to the one by Hakim, the one Hakim showed at the end of the talk. That's the full syllabus. What we chose to choose there is the essentials needed lah. Compared to the one I showed. The one I showed could be a broad umbrella term, or more
Hmm.
general or more full list. But the ones in the syllabus is the one more essential to know.
Yeah, I hope that answer your question, Shin. So basically, I mean, we won't say it's a really like we cover everything, but we cover the thing that's essential for you to get start to kickstart your career in data science. And then we have a Jordan. If programming skill is not that strong, it's a causes a big challenge. Okay, that's the thing for this courses. Like I said in my sharing just now, is a beginner friendly. So that's mean if you have no code, even you have there's no code experience, we do have a preparation course for you to go through before you join the class. So if you're a beginner, we have online courses that we have in our own learning portal. We learn Python fundamental and a big introduction of machine learning and AI. So if you were to join this program, so let's say you have no experience in coding, you're going to go through that online courses first before you come to Daren class. So don't worry if you are a beginner, per to say. All right. And also time for me to quit study and go to Penang. Okay, sure, why not? It's up to you. It's 4 months, and 4 months you most likely gonna get your opportunity to work in data science. Who knows, right? Life decision. All right, long time ago. Thanks for for the question again. Okay, so for those who are interested about this program, yeah, Darren and Forward School collaborating, the link I put in the chat, so you can go to the link. And I think it's already 9:30 p.m., which is it's time for us to end this work. So if you have any question furthermore, you can email Forward School. You can go to our website forwardschool.co. And I would like to thanks everyone for joining us tonight, Friday night, spending your time here after work. You come here to hear Daren talk and learn something new, which is I really appreciated. And we at Forward School really happy to have you all here. And yeah, and also thank you, Daren, for the sharing. Especially, I still cannot unseen the student headband. It's still haunting me. I'm not sure about others, but that one I cannot really unseen. It just stick in my mind already. So how
Yeah, man.
scary is the future? I'm not sure. Maybe I don't know. Okay. So yeah, thank you, Daren, for great sharing. And I think a lot of us here learned a lot of things. And thank you everyone for joining us today. And yeah, hopefully if you guys joining the if you have any next session with Forward School, do join us again next time. All right. I think that's it from me. Thank you everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye, Darren. Bye.